friends, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is your friendly neighborhood esoteric practitioner, Reverend Eliot, coming to you live tonight from the city of New York. The Ask One Radio Network spreads me across the globe and right into your home as I shuffle up the cards. We're going to be doing an hour of readings, well, a little less than an hour, deducting the time that I'm going to babble for a little while first. I get in the habit of doing that. I guess it's worse when I miss a month of shows, and then I come back on and it's like pow, and the next thing I know the show is over and I've been babbling away. But hey, it's a new year. And nothing has changed so far. We have still political scandals rocking the world. What a shock, the new stuff with the classified documents. Boy, there's something I didn't expect. And a congressman who was elected even though he only told lies. Now, there's a new one for you. I mean, this is a guy who never told the truth about anything, and he got elected. What kind of message is that going to be? I understand stretching the truth a little bit. This one says she's a Native American. That one says he was a war veteran. And, they stretch it a little bit. I was talking to Albert Einstein about that just a few weeks ago. No, wait a minute, that couldn't be. But I'm floored by somebody who, I often wonder if these people even think they're going to win when they do something so bizarre like that. Because here's a guy who did nothing but lie. He's a congressman here in the New York area. He told lies about everything. Everything he said about himself was fake. My question is, so what? He says he graduated from Brandeis University and he never went there. Well, what if he identifies as a graduate from Brandeis? Isn't that the thing now? Whatever you identify as you are, you live your authentic life. Maybe that's what he was doing. But this is, there used to be a saying, don't steal anything small. If you're going to risk going to prison for theft, go for the big time, which is kind of, to me, silly advice because I don't believe in stealing. But the idea that somebody could actually do nothing but lie and still be believed and be elected, that's remarkable. I mean, people feel disappointed when the elected official they find out was lying about whatever their record was, and then we find out that it wasn't true, and then it's sad. We feel let down. Why? I don't know. But could you imagine that? I mean, how could you live like that, knowing that every single thing you say and everything you have told people, your whole life story, you just made it all up? I mean, that's remarkable. And now there's nothing they can do about this because there's no mechanism to remove him. And you certainly, who among them is going to cast the first vote, to paraphrase a biblical expression, to oust the guy for lying? When, let's face it, they all stretch the truth a little bit. But to deliver nothing but lies, I mean, I'm flabbergasted by this. It's just astonishing to me. So that's a humorous start for the year, because the question is, how are we going to seat him? Now, of course, I talk to people about this and they say, well, why don't we get a petition together and recall him? You can't do that because there is no recall for members of Congress. As much as you would like to have that, it doesn't exist. You just have to go with the flow with this guy. He simply was out there spreading his truth, as he likes to call it. It's really peculiar. Now, I mean, I mentioned the senator who claimed to be a Native American. She's got an escape valve on that one because her grandma told her that, and she bought it and believed it. But it's different if you make the whole thing up. I could tell you things about me and my family. I have no way of knowing how true they are. I have absolutely no way of knowing. And yet, I'll tell you something else. I knew a guy, poor guy, he passed away recently. He was kind of a derelict, one of these freaky little characters we know from saloons in big cities. And everybody made fun of him because he said that he had been big in the music business, and he knew all the big stars in rock. And they just thought that it was so delusional. I happened to know that he was telling the truth. I met him through a fellow named Tony Bon Jovi. Now, you notice that last name, Bon Jovi. Okay. Tony Bon Jovi is the one who gave his nephew or his cousin, I don't remember, I think cousin John Bon Jovi, the job sweeping up at the recording studio over here on 10th Avenue, and then launched a record career for him. And this guy was there. He was a runner-up in the International Music European Festival. I forgot what they call that, the Eurofest or whatever it is. And he was part of that. And yet, big names would come by and talk to him, and people wouldn't even believe that was they. So I don't know. I've learned to pretty much accept what people tell me about themselves if it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And I come out of the entertainment business where people stretch their resume anyway. The whole thing is, I'll give you an example. Way back when I was starting, beginning, I was a baby. I was a comedy writer, and I wanted to deliver my own material because I like a lot of writers, I just didn't think that the comedians I was selling the jokes to were doing the jokes justice. Now, that could be called ego because they were professional comedians. They knew what they were doing and they knew what worked for them. So I was waiting in the wings of a comedy club, scared to death. Oh, how it used up like 5 years worth of nerve for me to get up on a stage and do that. I was very shy. I've got to tell you the truth, folks. And I finally convinced them to put me on stage, and I'm going to do about 5 minutes of stuff that I thought was funny. And I'm waiting there, and the guy who was emceeing the show was a wonderful guy. He says, our next act is coming to, he just got back from L.A., and he was on the Carson show. Oh, and he was so funny. You probably caught his special on HBO. And I'm furious now at this point because I'm supposed to be next. And I hadn't done any of that stuff at all. I barely even watched the Carson show. And I turn around to storm off to find the club owner and complain when the guy mentions my name. That was the introduction he gave me. So and politics has been described as show business for ugly people. Nothing is true in the entertainment business, is what I found out. The sad thing is when somebody does come across with something interesting and truthful in their life, and then and then nobody believes him. That's what happened with this guy, and he had his downside, he had good side too. I stored some of his music digitally for the time that he would make a comeback. He had a problem with alcohol. Well, I remember one time I ran into him in July, and I asked him, I said, hey, come on in here, I'll get you a cold beer. And he said, no, thanks, I've got to be someplace in November. Now, to me, that's funny. He was aware of the fact that he had a problem. But nobody believed that he had done all the things that he said he had done. And I knew that he had. So what do you do? So here we are, climbing up to Friday the 13th, and we're going to be spending the next hour taking phone calls and looking through the magical window of the tarot and see what it shows us for, let's say, the coming year. This is my favorite time of year for readings. So if you want to, please keep this in mind, because I do readings off the air also, not just here on Ask One Radio. I do these during the course of the week. That's I love doing readings for people from all around the world. We can do it by phone, we can do it by Skype, we can do it any way you want, Zoom, whatever you want. I'm easy to get to, but this is the time of year. It's at the beginning of the year, and it's always worth taking a look at the coming year. Do you want to be surprised by life, or do you want to have a little bit of an idea of what's coming? Because There's a lot of stuff coming. A lot of stuff coming. It's going to be an interesting year. We've already started the 2024 election cycle because the 2022 election cycle ended, and we're in the perpetual election cycle. And that's, of course, that breeds people like this congressman who I still can't get over that. There wasn't a single thing he said that was true. And yet people bought it and voted for him. And there it was. So, this look, if you're not getting anywhere in life, maybe you just need to reinvent yourself. Perhaps that's the way it is. But just, keep it legal if you can. You don't want to go around like The Great Imposter, Ferdinand Demara. He was a wonderful guy. You ever see that movie, The Great Imposter, with Tony Curtis? Looked nothing like Ferdinand Demara looked like a big curly of the Three Stooges. So naturally, Hollywood gets Tony Curtis to play him. But this is a guy who talked himself into being a doctor. He operated on some people. This is a guy who was the assistant warden of a prison. He didn't know what he was doing. He just, he parlayed a photographic memory and a gift of gab, and hell, people believed what he said because people want to believe you, and that's the thing. That's one of the lessons in life. Whether you're in politics or show business or just trying to sell, let's say you got a job that involves talking to people and selling. The one lesson I learned is that people are rooting for you. They may seem resistant to you, but they want to like you. They want you to like them too. So cultivate a smile and again, you see, this is rare. I'm literally flabbergasted and speechless because I'm still thinking, I'm sitting here talking and I'm still in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that there's a guy now in Congress who's going to be paid $180,000 a year to talk. And it's turned out that nothing he says is true. This guy's got a future. I don't know if it's behind bars or what, but he's got a future. I mean, my hat is off to a guy like that. It's like the Ponzi scheme guy, Charles Ponzi. That's for those of you who know what a Ponzi scheme is. It's it's an investment scheme where I talk you into giving me $10,000 as an investment, and then I talk somebody else into giving me $10,000 as an investment. Then I take $5,000 of your $10,000 and give it to that other guy and say, "Look at that! I just got you 50%," and then he rolls it over, and sooner or later the whole thing's going to fall apart. It has to fall apart. I mean, it must fall apart. That's the flaw there. But until it does, there used to be unlimited opportunity. If you could spot one, if you could get in on the ground floor, you'd make money. But now, of course, if you make money in a Ponzi scheme, even though you're an innocent participant, the government will take it from you and spread it among the people who got robbed, which I guess that's equitable. I have no idea how that works, but I don't go out looking for Ponzi schemes because you'll end up, living under a bridge. There's a lot of them out there. I did a screenplay years ago for a producer who wanted to do a movie about a mobster who puts his son through Wall Street training school, business school. He puts the kid through business school, and the kid gets a job on Wall Street. And during the course of the film, he finds out that these people are bigger crooks than his family. And then he turns the tables on them. But I learned an awful lot at that point. I did my research as a good screenwriter. I went and did research, and I found a guy who was a broker. He went and he was very happy making, this was in the early 90s. He was very happy making about $150,000 a year. And his friends, all of his friends from business school, he said, used to laugh at him because he was making the least amount of money of all of them. And then he said, but on the other hand, I'm the only one in my graduating class who didn't go to jail. So you see, honesty can be the best policy. Puffery, the Supreme Court has ruled that kind of lying is okay. That's, if we got rid of all lying, we'd have no advertising. It'd be no more. Now, that's not such a bad idea, but there you go. But keep in mind, I'm still stunned by this because here I am dealing truth and light, and here comes a guy down the pike who completely ignores truth and gets rewarded for it. Of course, everybody hates him now. But he's smiling because they can't take it away from him. I guess they can isolate him, but, there's something going on there. I just want to see where this guy ends up. That's all. Well, we'll shuffle these up now, and that's enough for that for now, because frankly, I am still speechless. I finally found what can render me speechless, which is something chutzpah doesn't even cover it. This guy it's just tremendous. If you asked him what time it was, he probably wouldn't tell you the right time. But unlike me, I'll tell you the right time. It's just a quarter to Friday the 13th right now. So we're moving into Friday the 13th territory, and folks, it's been one of those days for me. And I'm so glad that I'm with you, because this is the highlight of my week. And that's not a put down. I mean, that doesn't mean my week is bad. I just get so much energy doing this show. I love it. I've been doing this for over 10 years now, and I just love it. And we're going to start off right now with somebody who's in a state that I once thought I would move to. But first, we're going to ring a bell 3 times to declare sacred space. Notice I did that fast. Melissa in Batesville, Arkansas is on. Hi, Melissa. You're on with Reverend Eliot.
Well, hello. So you
Hi,
thought
how
about
are you?
living here, huh?
Yes, I thought about, I guess, you know what it was? I think I saw an interview with Johnny Cash, and I think he lived in Arkansas at the time.
You sure did.
But somebody at some point said something about flooding, and I'm not sure that, I think that turned me off a little bit. It's like Maine. There were people telling me, come live in Maine. Maine is great. Just come bring your boots in the springtime because it's mud season. So that's the end of that. I'm not going there. But Arkansas is...
We've not had a whole lot of them, but we've had 2 in my lifetime that were, pretty significant. They didn't get to my side of town, but the main part of town, it shut down for a little while.
Well, it's not an annual thing. That's the one. That's the good thing.
Oh, no.
Because it is beautiful. And then, of course, you have the Arkansas River, which you have other people who confuse that with Arkansas. So who knows, right?
Yes, and you can't beat the Ozarks. I tell you, they're beautiful.
Well, it's a beautiful part of the world, and I'd love to travel and see it. But I'm such a dyed-in-the-wool native New Yorker that I barely even leave my own neighborhood. And I live in an exciting part of the city. It's not a very high crime area, mercifully, because
I had a good friend that lived in New York for years and come back, and he said it was just like such a shock.
Well, yeah, I mean.
A little.
We had a large apartment when I was a little kid. We had a really big, sprawling Upper West Side apartment. And that's one of the tragedies of my life, is that my parents never prepared me for the idea that most New York apartments don't have 3 bathrooms. They don't even have 2.
Right.
But I would go away to summer camp, and I would spend 2 months in the country, in the woods, like Boy Scout camp.
Right.
And when I got back, the apartment looked so small, because I just spent 2 months with no walls, no nothing.
Right.
It was very difficult. It was difficult adjustment. But that shows how everything in life is relative. Well, Melissa, we're here to talk about you, not about me. So what can I look at for you tonight?
All right. I don't mind. Just general reading would be fine.
Okay. Well, let's see what we've got here. Yeah, These are interesting cards. These are really very interesting cards. I have cards of new things coming your way, changes coming. I mean, I have 5 cards I put here, and 3 of them relate to things changing. The first card, though, is the 4 of Swords is about taking time out and kind of being outside of things, relaxing, taking things easy. Is that what's been going on in your life? You've kind of been on the sidelines a bit?
I've had to kind of get there the last, month or so.
Okay, well, what I've got here is the Knight of Cups is here. Cups are about emotions and affairs of the heart and happiness. And I'm going to jump ahead because I also have the Knight of Coins. And the Knights are about the appearance of something new. It's the formation of something new emotionally, and something new financially is on the horizon for you. The Wheel of Fortune is the card of change, and the Death card is the one that says a period of your life is ending and a new period of your life is beginning. It's not about dying. It's just telling me that you're about to enter a new phase in your life, and emotionally and financially, it's going to be a growth time in there. It's going to be good.
Good time.
If you've been feeling stuck, which is, the Four of Swords shows a person just kind of lying there and waiting. And I also have the Eight of Swords, which is a person who feels like tied up. And that's going to move because the horses, which is the knights, are very dynamic. And look at this. I got the Knight of Swords, too. So that's about mental activity. So, okay, you're entering a new period of thinking, of feeling, and money. So those are the things that are going to be growing in your life. And it's coming this year, and very well too. Now, I have to say this. There's also the King of Coins here. The Knight of Coins and the King of Coins is the whole spectrum. You're going to do very well financially. You're going to be okay financially. Now, here's the thing. The Nine of Coins tells me that you're not a hermit, but you're able to be by yourself and be happy and be satisfied. Is that who you are?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because that's good. That drives people up the wall. There's many people who just can't be at peace with themselves. But I see that you have that ability, and you've been kind of in a break in your life. But there's new things coming your way emotionally, mentally, and financially. And I'm not getting any indication that it's bad either. So that's good.
Right.
So.
Yes,
In fact, I have the Six of Rods here as one of great success and happiness. So that's the way I see the year shaping up for you. Is you're going to grow emotionally, you're going to grow mentally, and you're going to grow financially.
Right.
Okay.
Time for some growth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, because that first card I have, the Four of Swords, is about just lying around and not quite doing much of anything. But it's not like laziness or indolence. It's just about time to take a little break and see what develops. And all these wonderful things are going to come your way. I see it now. In fact, I see the Six of Coins. The Six of Coins is here. It tells me that there's a chance that somebody's going to give you money in a way. It's a card of philanthropy. Could mean also winning a lottery, things like that. So keep in mind that there's going to be opportunities coming your way from making money. But most important is your thoughts and your heart are growing too. Okay?
Okay, great. I thank you very much.
My pleasure. It has been great talking to you. Bye-bye now.
All right. Well, you come visit us. All right.
Oh, yes,
bye-bye.
I sure will. Bye-bye. And let's just shuffle up the cards. There's so many places that I've been meaning to visit all my life. And, everybody was talking about, I want to go see Venice, or I've got to go to Paris. And I keep thinking, I want to go to Tennessee. I want to go to Arkansas. I want to go to Kentucky. I seem to have this thing for the South. I have, Tennessee, I keep thinking of Jack Daniels, or is that Kentucky? Tennessee is not. Kentucky is the bourbon state, right? And then Tennessee is the Jack Daniels state. Arkansas, I don't know. What do you got there? Moonshine? I love that too, man. I knew a guy who ran moonshine from down in the South up here to New York City, and his biggest customer route along the way was Washington, D.C. This goes back many, many years, so I think the statute of limitations has expired. But moonshine, that is some heavy-duty stuff. Vladimir in Brooklyn, New York is on. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. So I was just wondering what's ahead for this year for me.
Okay, I'm going to shuffle them up again and take a look. I don't get many calls from right here in Brooklyn. I'm just across the river. I'm just off Times Square. So let's see what we got there. Well, there's some interesting spiritual stuff coming. Are you a spiritual person in many ways?
Yes.
Okay. Now, that's an easy one to ask, by the way, because you're calling a show with people who do this kind of stuff. So I'm not putting that on. It's the high priestess I got. The high priestess is the person who can see behind the veil, who is very close to spiritual matters. There have been some changes in your life. I see that there are things that weren't working out, and you've been leaving that behind and moving to new things. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay, now that's going to work out very well for you because the next card I have, that was the Eight of Cups. That's a person who's putting behind him the stuff that isn't working and going towards stuff that is working. And the next card is the Sun. The Sun is a card of healing and health and growth and happiness. The Seven of Rods is here. That is a person who can sweep away all obstacles and can get what he wants. Now, the Seven of Cups is here. That's a person of great imagination. Sometimes people don't like that card because it's of unfocused ideas, they say. But I always I prefer to have more unfocused ideas than have no ideas at all. And because you can always pick one and work on it, or pick two or three. But your imagination is going to lead to some career opportunities for you because that's the Ace of Rods here. You're going to be finding work in something that puts your imagination and creativity to use. Is that the kind of thing you're looking for?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes. I can't wait for that day.
Well, what I see is you're going to get it here. It's coming. And it's the Empress is here. That's a card that is about making things grow and making things happen. And the Tower struck by lightning is here. Now, that's a fascinating card. And I have another card right after it because a lot of people think that that's bad news. The Tower struck by lightning is neither good nor bad. It's just about the sudden change appearing, and the nature of the change is in the next card, which is the Ten of Cups. That means you're going to be very, very, very happy with the change. So this is the year, I think, that the things that you've been working for and the things you've wanted, you're busy improving yourself. That's the 8. That's the one where you're walking away from what isn't working to what is working. The imagination is going to come into play. The Ace of Rods is the new business opportunity that you're going to have because of your creativity. The Sun is the success you're going to have, and the Tower struck by lightning tells me that the change is going to come suddenly, and you're going to be very happy with it. So this is going to be a pivotal year for you. It's going to be very exciting. You know, the things that you've been imagining, because there's a lot of imagination in these cards. Behind the veil, the cups. There's a lot of imagination there, and the things that you've been picturing and imagining, you're going to get. It's going to be within your reach, and I think you can close the deal. See, you can never say it is going to happen or it isn't going to happen, and that isn't just like a cop out because I don't want to mislead you. But what I'm saying is you will have the opportunity to do these things, and you're going to make the right choices because you're doing it. You're on the right path. Here's the Six of Rods. You're going to be successful and succeed. And the Six of Rods carries more than just success. You'll be recognized for your success. So this is it. It's all the stuff that you've been waiting for and working for it's just around the corner for you now. You're going to have a very exciting year.
Thank you. I'm truly grateful for your insight. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for calling. And remember, this is all your work. These are your cards. Let me give you one last thing because it's important here. I have this 10 of Swords here. That is an important card. If there's been bad things in your life, bad times, this card means they're over, and that you're moving away from that. And it shows a person who has been beaten down a little bit, but will get up and will go on. So the bad stuff is over, is what that means. Keep that in mind. Okay.
Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you for calling. Bye-bye now. I really love these positive readings. And of course, you know, we've all been trained by movies to say, oh, look at that. A stranger read my tarot cards and I'm going to die. You know, that doesn't happen. You know, that just doesn't happen. I've been reading these cards for decades, and only once did I see something like that. Only once. And it was quite obvious. It almost never happens because I believe that things work out for people who seek tarot readings because these are people who know how to ask for help. And that's the first step towards getting help, is asking for it. You know, you ask the universe for something and it'll give it to you. It may not give it to you in the way you want. This is the thing with love spells, for instance. I have a thing about that at my website, magick-works.com, magick-works.com. Now, take a look at that page sometime. It's there's like 100 and something pages there. It's all easily indexed at the top of the homepage. But it is, those are black magic. If you're going to do something like that, what you're doing is controlling another person's feelings, and that's wrong. And that is never going to work out well. It is never going to work out well. And I have a couple of stories in there about things like that you may find fascinating. I'm just teasing the website a little bit. Go check out magick-works.com. There's loads of stuff there. Show you not just what I can do for you as a practitioner of the esoteric arts, but what you can do for yourself. That's where the real power is. Who's got the power in your life? Not a deck of cards, not me. You have the power. Gloria in Phoenix is on. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi, how you doing? I'm so honored to be here.
Oh, I'm glad to have you. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Beautiful. What can I look at?
I was wondering if you could connect with my guides and tell me what I need to know at this stage of my life.
Well, let's see what we have here. Oh, excellent. This is really nice because I just cut the cards and let's see what the first card is, right? The first card shows an angel. It's the Temperance card. So that's telling me that we're in touch with your angel guide here. Okay, so there's the 8 of coins. Oh, I just had this card too, with this 10 of swords. The Justice card, we'll talk about all of these in a moment, and the Page of Swords. Okay, this is very good. The 8 of coins is about a person who works hard at a new job. It doesn't have to be like a career. It just can mean something new. Anything. It works hard. You work hard at what you do, and usually this is about an apprentice. Usually it's about starting something new in a new field of work and doing so well in it that you get recognized.
That makes sense.
The 10 of swords that I had earlier for somebody else, I have here for you, which is the worst is over. You've been through some bad stuff, to use a euphemism, and that's over. Justice, the Justice card. You've been wronged. Somebody treated you badly? Gloria, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Oh, has somebody treated you badly recently?
Not recently, no.
Okay, good. But
not that I know of yet.
Good. Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not getting any indications of anything in the background, like somebody sneaking around. But there is justice coming your way. There's something that you deserve justice for, and you're going to get it. I mean, okay. I don't mean it in the sense that, oh boy, are you going to get it? You know what I mean?
Right.
You're going to get justice, the justice that you deserve. Something's come up in your life that wasn't fair, and it's going to be rectified. And the Page of Swords is here, which is good. These are all very good cards. I see an independent person, a person who can, let's see, I'm getting so many cards that I got earlier too. The 7 of Rods, a person who can chase away all obstacles. I've got the World, which is a card of assured success. The Strength card, which tells me that you have the determination to do what you need to do. The 9 of Cups, which tells me you can enjoy the good things and nice things in life. It's very well rounded. It looks like there's good things coming your way. That seems to be the message from the angel guide, that you're on a good path, and you're on a good path. Good things are coming. Let's take one more look. I'm going to shuffle this up again here, cut the cards once more, and there I go. It's the Star. That's a card of hope and optimism. So that's good. That's you've got good stuff coming your way.
I knew it.
Well, you're right.
Oh, that's wonderful. You have just validated everything that my intuition has been telling me.
Good. I'm glad. I love when the cards do that. And see, that's another thing. What you're saying is exactly, it's a wonderful kind of thing to get a reading for, that you have a sense about something and you want to know if that's really what's going on, instead of, will I meet a tall, dark stranger? The stuff that they do in movies is silly in a sense. But this is exactly it, that to say, this is what I feel is coming, will the cards validate it? And like, for instance, I think you're very much in touch with these anyway, because you asked about spirit guides and your guides, and I got the card with an angel on it. So there you go.
Well, I'm working on my ascension, so...
Well, that's one of the things we're here for, right?
Thank you very much. It's
my pleasure.
I don't even have any words to say how much I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year. Bye. And we'll shuffle them up again. You're listening to Reverend Eliot's Magical Window on the Ask One Radio Network, where we get together every week, generally on Wednesday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific, to look through the magical window of the tarot. And like I said, this is the time of year that I really enjoy reading for people the most, because we're turning a leaf. We're turning that leaf into another calendar page. It just dawned on me, I don't have a calendar on my wall for this year. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants nowadays. But I'll go to a drugstore or something and buy some aspirin and get a calendar from them. They're always good for that. But it's the time of year that I don't recommend that people get weekly readings. I know that you can make a good living reading for the same people week after week after week after week. I can't do that, because then after a while, the person you're reading for starts replacing their judgment with yours, and they lose a little bit of their own judgment because they keep saying, I have to ask the cards this, I have to ask the cards that. But I like doing it around birthdays and around the beginning of the year. Unfortunately, my birthday is in the first week of the year, so I don't get the fun of doing that. But it's it's a good time to do it. If I'm talking myself out of business here, right? I mentioned early on, there's a good time to buy a reading from me. Readings start at $10, but don't become a chronic querent, as we call it. We don't. It's not healthy for either of us. You can learn more about what I do at magick-works.com, magick-works.com. And specifically, if you're interested in tarot and you want to do this too, I'm holding these cards in my hand now, but you can hold cards in yours. Check out my book and CD set called Reverend Eliot's Magical Window. I know people don't use CDs that often now, but this comes with a CD that has actual readings illustrating points in the book, and it'll tell you how to look at the cards and how to work with the cards and give you an indication about what cards can do and can't do. And then it's also got a reprint of a 19th century tarot book in there. That's one of the best for teaching you the meanings of the cards. But there's so much more to it than that. And I called the book Reverend Eliot's Magical Window, which is the same as the show, because you guys out in the audience there, you inspired me to write it. And it's dedicated to you. Catherine in Denver, Colorado is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi, Reverend Eliot. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
Great.
What can I look at for you?
I'm interested in career and finances and my love life.
Okay, just those things, right? Those few things, those little unimportant things.
Yeah, those things are paramount for me at the moment.
Let's take a look. The first thing I've got is a card of cups, and cups are emotion and romance. And then I've got a Knight of Rods, which rods are career, and then I've got coin cards here, all kinds. These cards are covering the gamut here.
Oh, wow! Those three pulled up. That's amazing.
Yeah, what's coming up here is the first card is the Queen of Cups, and that means that something is taking shape with you in terms of emotion and feelings and romance. Is there something new going on in that field with you?
No, I've been in a relationship for almost 4 years, but we're separated, not like in a negative way, but this month by location.
Okay, well, Well, the Queen of Cups I don't know how to, this is silly. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I was going to say in this context, but of course it's my job to explain it. I should know how to explain it. It's about the feelings are still developing. The feelings are growing. This is why I ask if it's relatively new, but a few years is not particularly new, but your feelings are still growing in this relationship. The moon is here, which is about the unconscious mind, and it's a message generally to pay attention to your dreams, and you can get some information from your dreams. Do you keep a dream book or a journal like that?
I don't. I very rarely remember any dreams, to be honest.
They say that's the whole point with a dream book. It's bizarre. It's one of those weirdest things in life is that I wake up from a very vivid dream, and then a half hour later I don't remember it at all. I just know I had a dream. But if you can keep a book by your bed and start writing down what you dreamed as soon as you woke up, you can keep it that way. And this is saying that you may benefit from that.
I will say, Reverend Eliot, my feelings are huge. Like, I'm deeply in love. He's the love of my life, but I'm trying to see if his feelings are going to develop.
You're going to see what? I didn't catch the last part.
If his feelings will develop more deeply again.
Well, let's see what we've got. You want me to take a look at that?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. I'll shuffle them up and take another look at that. Okay. And now we'll take a look at what's going on with this other person. How's that? Well, okay. The first card I have is the Lovers. That's an interesting card right there. Okay, so that's just confirming that we're on the right track. There's a couple of cards that I've had before today. It's the Seven of Cups. This is a person of great imagination, but unclear. The thoughts are not clear. You know, there's a lot of thoughts, but it's not. It's sometimes unrealistic thinking, and sometimes it's just dreaming, but it's not very stable in that sense. You know, it's fluid, the thinking, emotionally speaking. The Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is about. It's almost the direct opposite of that. The Page of Cups is about the emotions solidifying. So I'm seeing that there's a possibility that this is growing. Because you go from the Seven of Cups, which is unfocused and nebulous, to the Page of Cups. The pages are earth. The pages are very concrete in that sense. The Seven of Rods is here. Now that is the person who has learned to sweep away obstacles. The Ten of Cups is here. That is a card of great happiness and joy in a relationship. Ultimate happiness. I put a card above it all to see what the aura is around the whole question. And the question, I have the Three of Swords, which is a sad card. I'm getting the sense that this is a person who's been hurt before. And so that's kind of getting in the way. He what?
We've all been hurt. He has, but who hasn't?
Yeah, tell me about it, right? You know, but this is still there. It still seems to be alive for him. So that's what I think that what you're sensing is he's kind of holding back a little bit, but it's not because of you. It's because of what happened before. So
there's something I can do to help that.
Yeah, there is. Let's see what we can find here. Let's see. Well, this is great. I've got three major cards here, and they're all women too. The Justice card, the Empress card, and the World. You're going to make this relationship grow and succeed. That's what I see. That
two people.
Yeah, you're going to be the driving force from the way things are now. You see.
Okay.
The Empress is not, now the Empress isn't, it's not artificial. This is that a person who is nurturing and can make things grow. And I think that the key there is nurturing. It's not like you're going to force this relationship to happen. I think that he will learn to feel safe with you.
Okay. Good.
Because because remember, I think he has been hurt more than he probably even wants to tell himself. But the Justice card is here, so you're going to work that out with him. The Empress is here. You're going to make this grow, and the World is here, which is a card of assured success. I think that it's saying that you being you is what's going to do it. You know, if you want to know what can I do to do this, keep being you.
I like that. And thank you, sir.
Because you'll do it. Just remember, the Empress card, that's the person who nurtures and makes things grow. The Justice card is the person who heals in a very real way. I mean, we're talking about healing a heart that was broken, really. And the World card, the World is the card of success. And it can be done.
I love the way that plays out.
Now,
it gives me a lot of assurance. Thank you.
Now, I've got to run because I only have a couple of minutes left, but if you need to hear this again, you can always go to askoneradio.com and look at the archive and play this show. And, you know, you can download it in the podcast section, or you can download it in, there's other sections, partner section. There's all kinds of ways you can get hold of this show, even at YouTube. And listen to the last part where I speak to you, and you'll hear it, because you have the potential. I got it again here, the 10 of Cups. That's a very happy family and a happy home. So there's great potential there.
Thank you so much, Reverend Eliot. That's huge. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Rest with a peaceful heart tonight.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. And hey, look at that. We're rounding the corner to the end of another edition of Reverend Eliot's Magical Window. And I just want to tell you that I have been a busy little guy here. I've been playing with the computer. Remember, I was away for quite a while because the computer died on me. And I really blew their mind because I didn't want to buy a new computer. I wanted them to rebuild this, and they did. You know, it cost enough, but it was less than getting a new computer. But money wasn't the object. I'm accustomed to this particular computer. And they didn't upgrade it, which is fine. Eventually, I'm going to have to upgrade the operating system because that's the way it is. I mean, I have a telephone sitting here right next to me that I can't use to make phone calls anymore because it's got a dial on it. And they've upgraded my phone system here so the dials don't work anymore. But hey, what can I tell you? You know, there's still gadgets you can buy that you can hold up against the mouthpiece of a phone and hit the buttons and get the number you want that way. But I'm making up for lost time, and I have been designing, and this is what I want to talk to you about for a moment. If you go to magic-works.com, magick-works.com, the last time I was on, I mentioned that I'm restoring a book from 1833. And I am restoring a book from 1833. I mean, who would lie about that except a member of Congress? But that's tough on the eyes. That's really my vision is not so hot these days. So to relax, I've been adding to my collection of occult jewelry. You can find that at magic-works.com, magick-works.com, and click on the occult jewelry thing there. There's always a sale going on. It's not me lowering the price. It's the company that you buy it from, and they ordinarily take 15 to 20% off. So it's worth looking at that. There are amulets and talismans there that can, for almost any need that you have in life. And those are important because these things are symbols that focus our energy. I'm wearing one right now. I've got one right now. It's a talisman of the moon. And it works towards getting you what's going on and what you want in life. Hey, listen, you know something? I've got a couple of more minutes left. Kathy in Wyoming, I'm told, is holding on. Hi, Kathy. Did I overlook you? Oh, I did.
Hi.
Kathy. Hi, I'm sorry. I just got done saying that my eyes aren't what they used to be, and I realized I missed your I missed you on the board there. So we got a couple of minutes left, about 5 minutes. What can I look at for you?
So I'm just kind of wondering if the guy that I've been talking to, if he is a good match for me.
Okay, let's see. I've shuffled them up, and okay. See, now this is the third time today I've gotten this card. It's the 10 of Cups, and that's a card about a happy home and romance. And the Queen of Cups here, there's romance there too. And, you know, this is looking pretty good. The temperance card is here. That is a well-balanced, that means balance in life is there. This is looking like a good match. Yeah, sure is. Is there anything else you want to look at? That was fast. You know, I got it for
moving or job, career.
Okay. And what would you like to look at about the move?
How long it will be before I move.
Well, this
moving
is
from Wyoming to Washington.
Well, let me tell you, this is funny because there are several cards here that specifically show that. One of them is the Six of Swords. It shows a person on the water in a boat, moving the boat from here to there, you know. And a lot of times it's taken in a metaphorical way, like you're going to move your life from here to there. You're going to get what you want. But this is the card that shows up when people are moving. So this move is going to happen. It's going to happen soon. I can't give you more than that. There's a little bit more waiting coming in. The Three of Rods is here. That's working with other people and waiting to get have this something reach fruition. So, oh, and there's money in the ace. You're going to be well paid here, right? Because I got the Ace of Coins here, and that's the beginning of a good money stream. So that's going to work out well for you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so the Six of Swords just confirms that the move is coming.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Anything else you want to see?
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm sorry I almost missed you there, but it's...
That's okay.
I'm a little discombobulated tonight.
I was just like, oh, he'll get to me eventually. It's okay.
Thanks for calling. Thank you for calling. Bye-bye now.
Thank you so much for your help.
My pleasure. And now that is really it. That is it. I can't believe I overlooked Kathy in Wyoming, which is very funny to me because the great comedian Milt Kamen, who is almost completely forgotten now, he was an actor who appeared in a couple of movies here and there. And he used to do a whole bit about how there is no place called Wyoming. That Wyoming, he said that they made it up just to fill out the calendar. Great. There I am, one-track mind here, to fill out the map. And that was his, and he would talk about how there is no Wyoming until he worked himself up into a lather. And speaking of lather, don't forget, get over to mojoacademy.org and take a look at the Mojo Brothers shaving soap, because I just had a wonderful shave today, and that is the lightest, fluffiest, most wonderful shaving soap. And if you're a man and you don't use this kind of shaving soap, you are not treating yourself properly. And all you ladies out there, this is just perfect for your guy, unless he's got a beard. Then forget it, you know. But I strongly suggest that you go over to mojoacademy.org and take a look at the Mojo Brothers shaving soap, because it is, oh gosh, it's really the, look, we sell it, but it is I use it. I use it because it's the fluffiest soap I've ever encountered, and it makes shaving so much easier and more pleasurable and sensual instead of just a chore. So the website for that is mojoacademy.org, where you will find many books, and hopefully coming soon will be this book from 1833 on the nature of solitude. I sit alone and I work on a book about solitude. Isn't that kind of symbolic? That is, I feel like an old-fashioned scribe. But that's the way it goes. We like to say there is a book there that will change your life at mojoacademy.org. And magic-works.com, magick-works.com. There's well over 100 pages of magical lore and things there, movies to see, all kinds of stuff linked there. I'd urge you to take a look at it, because you'll have a good time there, and you'll learn a lot of stuff that you can do for yourself magically. Magic is nothing to be afraid of. Human beings have been doing it for thousands of years. In fact, anthropologists would argue that is what made us human, was being able to recognize and see and use the magical arts. So it's all laid out there at magic-works.com, magick-works.com. So, from the heart of New York City, high above high above what? 10th Avenue, right? This is Reverend Eliot, and I will see you again next week. And until then, remember, who you are is the universe's gift to you. Who you become is your gift back to the universe. Bye-bye now.